got something for you. We got something for you, you. It's something Megapod shiny. It's wrapped in Megapod plastic. Put on your Megapod jammy. It's time for Megapod-tastic. 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 Megapod-tastic.
Good morning. Welcome to Crazy Joe's Concession Stand. I'm your host, Joe. It is Tuesday night, and we are live. And I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I probably shouldn't have even gone live tonight because I'm kind of annoyed right now, and I probably should have just waited until I calm down a little bit. Because I don't know, I just kind of had the wind taken out of my sails. I had plans, things to talk about, and quite frankly, my head's a blank now. As I was going to set up the stream, I came upon some things that frankly I wasn't expecting. It's a long story, and I don't know. Movie Hunter says a rant video. Well, it wasn't going to be a rant video. And I still would rather it not be a rant video, which is probably why I shouldn't have gone live. Because I'm so worked up right now, it could end up being a rant video. And that's not what I wanted. And I also don't want to rant before I have all the information. All the details. All the details are not yet available. So I can't rant from a place of knowledge because I don't know what's going on right now. But I'm fairly agitated right now, I can tell you that much. It's a long story. And I still don't know the answer. I don't know. I shouldn't have gone live probably because my head's not in the game. But I planned all day to go live tonight. And here I am. So I planned to do it, and I did it, and now I'm wondering if I should have even bothered. So anyway, welcome. I don't even remember what I wanted to talk about. I had topics and everything, and I can't remember at this point. As I was going to set up tonight's stream, I found something that unexpected, and it involves other people. Don't know who it involves. Don't know all the details. So therefore, I don't know. How's everybody doing otherwise? Damn it, I can't even remember what I was going to talk about tonight. I seriously had things I wanted to talk about, and it's all out of my head now. Lisa's here. Good to see you, Lisa. How am I enjoying the heat wave? Well, I just got back from the pool. That was nice. No, Eternal Harmony. I'm too stubborn to end the live stream. I said I was going to live stream tonight. That was my plan to live stream tonight. And damn it, we're going to see this through no matter what. I don't know. People tell you things, and then all right, I'm getting it. I'm getting a text message. This stream was supposed to be, simul streaming in all the places, and I can't do that tonight. I lost access to the hang on a second. I'm responding to a text message I got. I'm responding to a text. This isn't how. I'm sorry. I'm agitated. I'm really agitated. Movie Hunter says Inside Out 2 is hitting it big. Yes, I saw Inside Out 2. It was quite good. Really enjoyed it. I had some problems with it. I didn't dislike the movie. I really liked the movie. But I think if I had one major problem with, I didn't do a review of it, but my one major problem with Inside Out 2 is that I don't feel like Joy learned anything from the first movie. You know, it felt like the Joy we meet in Inside Out 2 is kind of the same Joy we met in Inside Out 1. And she learned lessons in Inside Out 1, but she's right back to where she started. It seems like she didn't grow much. Uh, that's my one complaint. That's my one complaint is that the Joy was I'm distracted. I apologize. I'm trying to handle this. Hang on a second. Invited, accept invite. I'm sorry. This is I got a 6-digit code I got to deal with. Ugh. Jeez. All right. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm in a really bad mood tonight. I wasn't until about an hour ago. Lisa says, "Oh, you have a pool?" No, we don't have a pool. We joined a pool this year. You know, we were in. We had a annual membership to Sesame Place, and as Kira's gotten older, we've been going to Sesame Place less and less. Uh, you know, as a Muppet Sesame fan, I do love Sesame Place, but it is for the younger kids, and she's getting older. Uh, there's not quite as much there for her as there was when she was younger. So this year we decided let's not join Sesame Place. Let's join the pool instead. We'll go there. We'll take the money. We'll do that instead. That was the plan. So that's what we're doing. CG anime fan says, "What's going on? Not much here. How about you?" Butts Unplugged says it's Wednesday morning in the UK. Well, happy Wednesday to you. Movie Hunter says, "Joy, I got friends like that. No learning curve." Yeah, I don't think I'm giving anything away because it's the beginning of the movie. It's the beginning of Inside Out 2. So if you haven't seen Inside Out 2, I'm not spoiling how this thing ends, but we at the beginning of the movie see Joy ejecting bad memories or things that, you know, she thinks Riley doesn't need to remember to the back of the mind. Oh, Riley doesn't need this memory. And I keep thinking to myself, didn't Joy learn in the first movie that Riley, you can't control Riley's emotions. You can't control you can't dictate what she's going to feel and who she's going to be. She's got to be her own person. I felt like that was the lesson Joy came out of the first movie with. And it felt like we're just right back, like she learned nothing. And I sat there thinking, wow, this is wild. It's like she just didn't learn her lesson. And I don't know. But other than that, it's a great movie. Like that one thing kind of irked me that it was like usually Pixar, especially because Pixar is the best of the best. They're usually much better with character. When they write a character, the character kind of develops over film to film. You look at like Buzz Lightyear, you know, who he became, you know, first, you know, was very naive, thought he was a toy, and he grew over the course of those films. Every one of these characters kind of grows over the films. And Joy, it just felt like she's just right back to who she was at the beginning of Inside Out 2. And I was like, man, you didn't oh, I'm sorry. I'm very distracted today. I shouldn't be doing this. I probably shouldn't even be streaming. What design is that on your glasses tonight? Lisa says it is the DC superheroes. The DC superheroes. Before I went to the pool, I was wearing a Justice League shirt, and they matched. But I got rid of the Justice League shirt after the pool when I got changed, and now I'm wearing, you guessed it, Frank Stallone. But I had match. The glasses were matching previously. CG Anime fan says, sounds like your day hasn't been the best. Actually, it's been a perfectly fine day. It's only in the past hour I got annoyed. Look, look, hey, I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is. It's been corrected. It's actually been corrected on stream. Too late. It's been corrected too late because I did a stream about a week ago where I told you that I was leaving Team MME for financial reasons. No, there was no falling out. I said, I'm leaving Team MME. Max came to me, said, hey, I'm paying for all the access to the StreamYard. And I said, okay, I understand. And I understood. Did a stream, said, hey, you're not going to be seeing me as much on MME. I'm, kind of going off doing my own thing. Yeah, it's no bad business, no bad feelings, nothing like that. I said that on stream. So tonight I was going to do the stream. Well, the next day I get like a call from Max. Max says to me, you misunderstood. Yes, we are cutting back on Team MME. You got that right. But you misunderstood. This isn't like effective immediately. This is like in November. Like it's prepaid for the year. You're still here till November. I said, oh, okay, thank you. I did misunderstand. I thought you meant this was like effective immediately. No, this is not till November. So tonight I go to start this stream. Like that, about an hour ago, I came in, I was going to set up the stream, and I have my own StreamYard, but I use the free StreamYard. Look, this is an unmonetized channel. This is an unmonetized channel. I can't, even my monetized channel, I can't justify paying for StreamYard because I don't make that much, like on the monetized channel, I don't make that much. I don't make anything on this channel. So I use the free StreamYard. But as part of Team MME, I had access to the paid StreamYard, and that gives me more options. I could go live on Twitter. I could go live on both channels. I could go live on the MME channel. I had a lot of options open to me that I don't have on the free one. And for example, right now, my plan was to be streaming on here, X, my channel. And since there was nothing set up on the MME channel tonight, I thought maybe I'll stream on MME too. I was going to do all the places. But when I went to log into StreamYard, it said I had been removed from the team by an admin. This is right after Max told me, you're with us till November. It's all prepaid. I'm like, what? Max just told me last week that I'm here till November. I'm not being. So I contacted Max. He doesn't know what happened. He says, he didn't remove me. Doesn't know who did remove me. He's not sure what happened, but he corrected it. Like while we were on stream, you saw me get a couple text messages. I'm back. Like I'm back in the Team MME StreamYard, but I'd already started this stream, so it's too late. I can't go to all the places like I intended to because when I was setting the stream up, I didn't have access to that StreamYard. So I don't know what's going on. It wasn't Max, and Max fixed it. It's fixed. It got fixed a little too late because we were already live. But yeah, I had gotten kicked from the StreamYard for about an hour, and it was like right when I was going to start this stream. So I don't know. It's wild, but Max, he's a good guy. He fixed it. So he says he's going to try to figure out what happened. But there you go. Butts Unplugged says it's been 9 years since the first Inside Out movie. Yes, it has. Absolutely. That dude Vince is here. Welcome, that dude Vince. The StreamYard thing I don't get. It's easy to stream without it. Even bringing up chats has a thing in OBS. I don't know what OBS is. That's free. CJH is here. Welcome, CJH. CJH says, was it you that Max kicked from StreamYard? Oh, no, opposite. Max fixed it. He got me back in. We're good now. We're good. Skullman is here. Skullman says, I don't watch a lot of film reviewers other than Robert Meyer Burnett, JJ, and Real Shift. They are right that most movies the past few years have sucked. Dune Part 2 and Civil War stand out from the other 90%. I disagree fully. In fact, Civil War is one of the worst movies I've seen in years. I truly hated Civil War. And I didn't see Dune Part 2, but I hated Dune Part 1. So I had no desire to see Dune Part 2. I think the movies we've gotten in the last few years have been phenomenal. I mean, everything, it depends on the individual movie. There's good movies, there's bad movies. But I think we've had a record number of great movies in the past few years. Just this summer, what do you call it? The Fall Guy. Fall Guy was excellent. Absolutely excellent. I saw the TV Glow. Wonderful movie. And here's one. I got to do a Blu-ray review. American Fiction came out. That's a great movie. And my favorite movie of last year, The Flash. Love The Flash. Inside Out 2, we were just talking about. I think we've had a record number of phenomenal movies. And frankly, I wouldn't put Civil War I didn't see Dune Part 2, but I certainly wouldn't put Dune Part 1 or Civil War on that list. I don't know who JJ is. You say other than Robert Meyer Burnett, JJ, and Real Shift. I don't know who JJ is, and I'm not sure if I know who Real Shift is. I think I know who Real Shift is. I have to Google. Let me see if I can find an image of him. So if I know if he's the guy I'm thinking of. Yes, I know who Real Shift is. Frankly, I can't stand that guy. I think he pretty much hates everything. And I think his reviews are awful. He's got like and you know what? I don't believe him either. Like I don't think he really thinks. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know him, but I don't think he really thinks the things he says he thinks. I think he goes for attention, because if you look, his reviews have a formula. He's got like 5 clips, like one of Rocky going, "Yeah, it stinks," and one of a guy going, "That makes sense," and he just pops these same like 5 clips into every one of his reviews. And it's almost like what you say doesn't make sense just because you put a clip of a guy saying that makes sense in there. Like, putting a clip of somebody agreeing with you doesn't mean that what you're saying actually makes sense. I don't know. I don't think he's personally very good. And I don't know who JJ is, but yeah, there you go. Happy Gollum says, are you friends with Wet Movie 1? Well, Happy Gollum, I don't know if Wet Movie 1 and I are friends or not. Friends is a big word, like I don't know him well enough to be comfortable calling him a friend. I feel like it would be presumptuous of me to call Wet Movie 1 a friend, because I just don't know him that well. But I'm certainly acquainted with him, and he's been a guest on my channel before. I've watched him. I've chatted with him. He's been here. Actually, I think it was the Crazy Joe Adventures channel, but he's been on Crazy Joe Adventures. What am I looking at? I'm trying to find Perp here. There we go. So yeah, I know Wet Movie 1. I think Wet Movie 1 is a good guy. But am I friends with him? I'm not sure I know him well enough to say, but we're certainly acquaintances. Daniel Martin, good to see you, sir. So far, I guess things are going all right. um, CG says there's been great films like Barbie and the Flash. Absolutely. Absolutely. Barbie and the last year, Warner Brothers had my top films of the year. Barbie, The Flash, Wonka, and Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. Of my top 5 films of last year, Warner Brothers had 4 of the top 5. Butts Unplugged says, I've not seen The Fall Guy yet. Fall Guy was excellent. Can't recommend it enough. Dat Dude Vince says, Jeremy Johns is JJ. I've seen Jeremy Johns. I'm not sure if I like him or not. I'm undecided on Jeremy Johns. Let's put it that way. I can't decide if he's a troll or not. That's always my question. Are these guys giving a sincere opinion, or are they going for clicks? And I try to determine that, and I can't really figure it out with him. I can't figure it out if he's going for the clicks or if he's being honest. CJH and Dat Dude Vince going back and forth. Let's see. Daniel Martin says, watched ET the other night, and that movie still really holds up. I really miss the magic and wonderment of some of those really early Spielberg movies of the 80s. I wish we could get back to that. It's a phenomenal movie. It really is. It's terrific. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, quite frankly. Skullman says, saying 2020's movies are phenomenal is a stretch. Better than the 2010 slate of masterpieces like BR 2049. I don't know what that is. Interstellar, Nightcrawler, Drive, Joker, OUATIH. I don't know what that is. Whiplash, La La Land, Wolf of Wall Street. I wouldn't say it's a stretch at all. I mean, Joker and Drive are great movies. I hated La La Land. Wolf of Wall Street's a great movie. But yeah, let's just look down the past year alone. Let's look through 2024 movies. Night Swim, that was garbage. Beekeeper, very entertaining. Good movie, solid movie. I mean, it's silly, it's goofy, but for what it is, an action movie, it's really good. Then we have ISS, movie not a lot of people saw. Really good movie, really good movie. American Fiction, which I think actually came out last year, but I didn't see it till January. Great movie. Argyle, oh man, Argyle was terrific. Lisa Frankenstein, I didn't really like Lisa Frankenstein, but I didn't hate it either. That's a movie I would call pleasant. I thought that was a pleasant movie. It was like a bull. It was like a bull, but not great. Drive Away Dolls, jury's out on that one. Drugstore June came out this year. That was fairly good. What else? Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. That was really good. Not as good as the other 3. The first 3 were better, but Frozen Empire was good. Late Night with the Devil, one of the best movies of the year. Godzilla vs. Kong, ton of fun. Look at this. And we're only in March. That's only March. We had a lot of good movies, and we're not even out of the month of March yet. First Omen. Oh my God, the First Omen was really good. That was a movie Little Movie Perp and I were both saying we can't wait to see what that director goes on to do in the future. It's really good. Immaculate, very similar to the First Omen, but not nearly as good. Kind of brought down by the poor performance by Sydney Sweeney. Yeah, I said it. Civil War, I thought was pretty much garbage. Abigail, that was really good. Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, that wasn't great. It was okay. It was fine. Boy Kills World, I didn't really like Boy Kills World, and I wanted to like Boy Kills World. I thought it looked like so much fun. Kung Fu Panda 4, that's a good one for the kids. I'm not a huge Kung Fu Panda fan, but Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was pretty good. Fall Guy was great. Furiosa, I didn't love, but to be fair, I didn't like the. Oh, If, my God, If, John Krasinski's If, that is an all-time classic right there. That's a modern day classic. That's like going to go down like Willy Wonka or Wizard of Oz. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to stop reading now, but yeah, no, I don't think it's a stretch at all. We've had some really phenomenal movies this year. It's been a good year for movies. This has been a really good year for movies. Anyway, looks like we have a debate going between Skullman and CG. Frank Castle. Good to see you, Frank. I'm trying to. Frank says I'm the only person who likes Mac and Me more than ET. Frank, are you Brandon? Are you Brandon? I'm curious. Brandon, is that you? I don't know. I know a guy. If that isn't Brandon, I know a guy who loves Mac and Me, and I'm just curious if that's you or not. Hey, Degrassi Knowles is here. Good to see you, Degrassi. Less I say about the Quiet Place Day 1, the better. Degrassi, I know you've gone on a few streams lately, so I'm gonna. I sent it to Perp. I'm gonna send you the link if you want to come in. You know what, Vince? I'll send it to you too. I'll send it to you too, Vince, because I got you up here on. All right, how do I find? Let's see, real. There you are. All right, Degrassi. If you don't have to, but if you want to pop in, you're more than welcome. I know you've been doing a little bit of streaming lately, so feel free. Skullman says I miss 90s and early 2000s cinema like Buffalo 66, Falling Down. Falling Down was a good movie. Fight Club, yes. American Psycho, American Beauty. Donnie Darko. I did not like Donnie Darko. But yeah, no, those are some good movies. Lisa says went digging through movies at Big Lots, only walked away with Howard the Duck. CG says haven't seen Inside Out yet, but feel excited to. So anyway, like I said, I did have some topics I wanted to talk about tonight, and I don't really remember what they are. They've kind of the drama of the night has kind of pushed a lot of the things out of my mind. Where is J Philly Retro Toys is in the house. J Philly Retro, you still here? Oh, Vince is here. Oh, look at this. I didn't even realize. Vince, I'm sorry you were backstage. I wasn't even paying attention. Look at that.
That's all good.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
In a second, I'm dropping things.
I was trying to work on a video for William, but I couldn't find the thing I needed to clip, so I just kind of gave up.
I'll tell you, man. I'm not on my game tonight. I'm not on my game. Okay, here we go. Frank says, I'm not Brandon. I'm some dude from California who loves Punisher comics. That's cool. No, bro, Frank, I know a guy named Brandon who absolutely loves Mac and Me. He collects Mac and Me, like stuff. Like, not that there's a lot of Mac and Me merch out there, but like he'll collect like posters and art and all kinds of crazy stuff. So there's not a huge fan base for Mac and Me out there. So that's why I kind of wondered, because I know Brandon in person, but I don't know what his screen name is. So
yeah, like I was saying a minute ago in the chat, my ex-wife absolutely loves Mac and Me. Like, she likes E.T., but since she was born in '86, I think that's the year that movie came out. So she saw it when she was like real little, and then saw E.T. later. So she for some reason had a love affair with that, even though it was a ripoff of E.T. to begin with.
Yeah. I've actually never even seen Mac and Me all the way through. I've only seen clips. So I don't know. One of these days, I know they did. Didn't they do it on MST3K? I think they did an MST3K on Mac and Me on the Netflix years. So, oh boy, I am out of sorts today. I am really out of sorts. I had topics. I don't remember what any of them are now. I don't know. I was probably going to talk about the box office. Box office is looking pretty good right now. Things are turning around. Oh, I remember what I wanted to talk about. I remember Spaceballs. It came out in Variety today. There's going to be a Spaceballs sequel written by and starring Josh Gad. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I have some thoughts that I'm kind of positive on, and I have some thoughts that worry me. I don't know. How do you feel? How do you feel about Spaceballs sequel?
Well, I absolutely love the first one, and I was immediately going to that joke of, or wasn't really a joke at the time, where Lucas agreed to let him do that if there was no sequel and there was no merch. But I guess now that it's Disney, they probably don't give a shit. So they're like, here you go. But Josh Gad, I'm not like the biggest fan of. So I don't know how I really feel about that one.
Yeah, I like Josh Gad. And actually, the thing that I'm most excited about involves Josh Gad. Or my number one pro to this story. I got pros and cons, and my number one pro does involve Josh Gad. Well, let's start with my cons here, because Degrassi says Spaceballs, the animated series, was terrible. I don't expect this to be any better. Yeah, that's my number one. Spaceballs, the animated series, was terrible. And my number two is History of the World Part 2 on Hulu was terrible. So these projects that in recent years that Mel Brooks has been behind haven't been great. And even if we go back 30 years or 29 years ago to Mel Brooks' last movie, Dracula Dead and Loving It, even that wasn't very great. So like when the last thing, which was 30 years ago, but the last thing Mel Brooks was really hands-on with wasn't that good. And then we've had a couple attempts at follow-ups to his projects, which he's had limited involvement in, and they haven't been that good. So that's my number one con. Spaceballs, the animated series, History of the World Part 2, automatically make me feel like, I don't know if we need to see this. But I'll say this. Josh Gad was supposed to star in a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids sequel for Disney, where he was going to play the adult son of Rick Moranis. And Rick Moranis was confirmed as coming back to reprise his role as Wayne, what's his name? Wayne Zielinski. We were going to get Rick Moranis back. He hasn't acted in like 30 years. So
wasn't it one of his last movies, like Little Giants, I think?
That or Big Bully, one or the other. He's done some voiceover roles. He's done some animated things, some voiceover roles, but he hasn't appeared on screen since like '97. It was either Big Bully. No, you know what? His last. It wasn't even theatrical. It was direct to video. His last movie was Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, the direct to video third chapter in the Honey series. So we were about to get, and I don't know about you, but I love Rick Moranis. And I was so excited we were going to get Rick Moranis back. Then the word came out that that movie had fallen through, but it was going to star Josh Gad. So I can't help but wonder if Josh Gad was working on a sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and was involved with Rick Moranis. And that fell through. But Rick Moranis was prepared to come back and work with Josh Gad. How good's their relationship? Because if Josh Gad and him have a pretty good relationship, we might get Rick Moranis back in this as Dark Helmet. We might. I don't know. I don't know anything, but
Degrassi's saying in the chat that Shrunk is, as far as he knows, is still happening.
Oh, really? I had heard it had fallen through. Degrassi's more connected than me, so if he thinks that it's happening, he knows better than I do. Lisa, Mel Brooks is going to be producing it. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a role in it. He'll probably be back as Yogurt or something. I don't know. I bet he'll be in it, but he's not directing. And that's the other thing. The director is the director of that movie Strays, about the talking dogs. And Barb and Star Go to Del Mar. I didn't see either of those movies, but quite frankly, neither one of those movies looked very good.
Well,
so
Mel Brooks is turning 98 in 10 days.
There you go. There you go. It would be great to see Rick back. Rick, oh yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see Rick Moranis working again.
Oh, I was gonna say a minute ago. The only reason I even watched Dracula Dead and Loving It was because of Leslie Nielsen. I always forget that was a Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah, yeah. You know, Mel Brooks has said that one of the things that bothers him the most is that somebody told Leslie Nielsen he was funny. He said he wanted to kill the person who told Leslie Nielsen he was funny, because he said Leslie Nielsen's only funny when he's not trying to be funny. But by the time Dracula Dead and Loving It came out, Leslie Nielsen knew he was funny. So he kept trying to be funny, and therefore it wasn't funny. And Mel Brooks had to keep dialing him back and going, "No, you got to play it straight. You got to play it straight."
Well, it's like I'm serious and don't call me Shirley. It's like not necessarily trying to be funny, but it's hilarious.
Right. Absolutely.
And he
Uh,
did he do Mr. Magoo before or after Dead and Loving It?
I
Which I think he that was him as Mr. Magoo.
it, I don't know. Pretty close. They were both in the late 90s. So I mean, what do you call it? Dead and Loving It was 95. So Magoo would have been somewhere between 95 and 98. I'm going to say after, but they're pretty close. Let me
Yeah.
see.
Which as
Mr.
a kid I thought Mr. Magoo was funny, and then I tried watching it as an adult, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure what I was watching when I was a kid, but
Mr. Magoo was 97, so it was 2
I said,
years after 2 years after Dead and Loving It. Let's see. I'm going to go back a little bit here because Degrassi was saying, see, movie studios are against theaters failing. Of course, that's where they make most of the money. That's why they've started buying them. Sony just bought Alamo Drafthouse. You know that. Theater owners are about to start seeing more favorable terms from studios and distributors. Good.
yeah, I wish AMC on the local chain around me. I got to go an hour east just to go to the closest AMC, and an hour west to go to the closest Regal. Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's up with the St. Louis area, but like almost everything is Marcus or some either like some even smaller chain, and Marcus doesn't really offer the monthly thing anymore.
Oh, they don't?
No, they stopped it on sadly this month.
Huh. I didn't even know. Well, I mean, we sort of have Marcus around here. We have what do you call it? We have Movie Tavern, which is
Yeah,
owned by Marcus. And I
yeah,
got to tell you, they were great before Marcus bought them. I don't know if Marcus is to blame, but they went way downhill after Marcus took over.
yeah. We had a chain called Warenberg, which I don't know if you've ever been in or around St. Louis or not, but they owned pretty much everything around here for theaters, and then Marcus bought them, and like it's okay, but we have another chain called B&B, which they're from like Minnesota on down, and B&B, like they most of the people they hire don't really care about the actual like customer experience. Like we went to what was it, the Multiverse of Madness, and the movie cut out right when you get to the cameo scene. You could hear the movie but you couldn't see it, and it took them like 10 minutes to fix this, and then they rewound it, and then there ended up being no sound, so they got everything fixed. And we had people making like flipping the bird off kind of symbols and on the screen and stuff, and after the movie they didn't even acknowledge all this. Most theaters would have been like, oh, I'm sorry about your experience, here's a I don't know, a coupon or something. And we had a few things that happened like that, so we stopped going there. I'm like, yeah, I'd rather go the extra 10 miles and go to the Marcus.
Yeah. We have right by us, we have the oh, look, little movie perps here. Hey, welcome to the party.
Hey, Burp, you're muted.
He's a silent perp. We can't hear you, perp. Can I
How about now?
Hey, there you are.
All right, there we go. I had mic problems.
I was like, hey, there's my favorite cooked up movie raptor.
And you can't hear me being all coked up. Satire.
Happy Gollum says Water Tower Cinema. Yeah, I was just about to mention Water Tower Cinema. We have this theater near us, Water Tower Cinema, that I used to actually do promotions for them under the old management. And I got to the point where I couldn't go there. They fixed it. They fixed the problem. But Water Tower Cinema, for a little while there, was showing movies in the wrong aspect ratio. Like you go to the theater, you're in the movie theater, and you see a movie in the wrong aspect ratio. And I go to the front desk to talk to them about it, and they said, "Well, we have a problem. Some of the projectors are broken." And that's the but they fixed it. They got new projectors, and it's good now. So they're all good there. Chris says, "I love you guys. Thanks for telling me you're streaming." Chris, there was a lot of. This was an unannounced stream. It was supposed to go up an hour so people would know it was happening. It was supposed to go up and people were going to know, hey, Joe's going live in an hour. And there were some shenanigans. I don't really want to. I've already gotten into the shenanigans. You can go back earlier and hear the shenanigans. I don't want to harp on.
Oh, I didn't hear any of that.
Oh, okay. If you didn't hear it, I'll go over the shenanigans.
No, don't. I don't.
Well, no, it's settled. I mean, it's fixed.
I'm out of it.
Well, it's fixed. Whatever it was, it happened is fixed.
Okay, good.
But itchy back. There we go. What were we saying? I lost track.
We were talking about theaters.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I was gonna add one other thing to that same theater that we try not to go to anymore. For like 10 minutes to the Batman with Robert Pattinson, there was this lady who had brought her special needs teenager with her, which I have special needs kids. I'm not gonna fault anybody for bringing their kid to the theater, but they had talked at full volume, 10, 15 minutes straight through this movie right behind us, and that's the kind of stuff that where that theater doesn't try to corral anything at all. And I'm like, man, it's just. And then eventually, the mom and son left or whatever, but we had so many little experiences like that. I'm like, yeah, you wonder why there's a lot of people that just don't want to go to the theater.
I'll tell you a story. And I swear this is true. And I'm going to tell you it as it happened and as it was. I'm going to say it as it was said. So don't anyone come after me and say, you can't use that word. I'm giving you the word as it was used. There was a special needs person working as an usher at a movie theater in the back in the 90s. And my friend Dave went to the movies. And at a certain point in the movie, the lights started flickering on and off. And everybody got annoyed, was like, what the hell's going on? The lights are flickering on and off. And they look, and this usher is flicking the lights on and off going, what are you going to do about it? I'm retarded. Can't fire me. What you going to do? And then he laughed and left. And they were like, again, that really happened. It's like,
really try not to laugh.
I'm trying not to say the joke that it was me.
But he's right. He's right. What are you going to do? What could they do? So I don't know. But that actually happened.
Someone asked what movies you're excited for.
Yeah, what upcoming movies am I? Happy Gollum says, what movies am I excited about? That's a good question. I am excited.
So many.
What's coming out? I gotta take a look. I can't even remember right now.
So many.
Yeah, I mean, we'll Wolverine and Deadpool, of course.
Long Legs. Probably my most anticipated of the year is the horror film Long Legs by Oz Perkins. That trailer is amazing. I love the director. I love Nicolas Cage. There's a movie called Bird Eater from Australia that's been getting phenomenal reviews. It looks really interesting. Looking forward to that. What else? Twilight of the Warriors walled in. If you're into martial arts, I heard that thing's a banger.
Greg's excited for the new Alien movie. Good to see you, Greg.
Oh yeah,
Good
that too. Fede Alvarez, right?
Hey, with StreamYard, can you share a text file?
I could try.
It's on my computer. I just never.
I think you got to click the present button at the bottom of the screen, the present, and then I should be able to bring it up.
Yeah, I was gonna see.
Maxine,
really Maxine, kind of kindness or kinds of kindness.
Fly Me to the Moon. That looks pretty good. Yeah, go kind of. That's the the
Yorgos movie. That's coming.
I have no idea what it's about. But you know what? After his last movie, I'm in. I don't care.
Yeah, and it did really well in Cannes.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of movies I want to see. Honora, Cannes. It did really well in Cannes. Honora, The Substance. Demi Moore is back. Apparently, she's in the movie called The Substance that won Best Screenplay. It's a horror film about a beauty makeup corporation. Apparently, it's amazing, and Demi Moore is definitely coming back, having her come back with that one. So I'm looking forward to that.
Hey, I'll tell you, there's two movies that I want to mention real quick. Actually, three. I'm going to mention three movies real quick. All streaming, all documentaries. There's three documentaries out right now. Two of them I'm going to recommend. One of them I'm not going to recommend. I'm going to say I didn't really like it very much. But the two I'm going to recommend, no surprise here, Jim Henson, Idea Man. The Ron Howard documentary streaming on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. I've watched it twice. It's a terrific documentary on the life and career of Jim Henson, and I can't recommend. It's great. It's fantastic. That one got a lot of press. Ron Howard was out doing the shows and promoting this, so I think people know about that one. Now this next one, I don't hear anyone talking about. I didn't know it existed myself until I read it somewhere. It's not getting a lot of press. Paramount Plus has a documentary out right now called "Let the Canary Sing" about the career of Cyndi Lauper. And I grew up in the '80s. I'm an '80s guy, and I love Cyndi Lauper. She's got so many great songs. If you think about it, "True Colors" and "Time After Time." I mean, she's a real talent. And it was a really informative documentary. It was great. I learned a lot about her. It's on Paramount Plus right now. So those two I'm going to recommend. But then this past weekend, Disney Plus has a documentary by Andrew McCarthy called Brats, about the Brat Pack.
Oh, I thought it was going to be about something else. Okay.
Can't recommend Brats. Cannot recommend Brats. It's basically Andrew McCarthy having a 90-minute therapy session and getting over like his own traumas. But we have to watch it with him.
Wait, what happened?
The Brat Pack did not like being called the Brat Pack. They were not fans of that name. And
that's a very bratty thing to be pissed off about.
Apparently, Andrew McCarthy just has spent the past 40 years seething with anger over the name of the Brat Pack, and he went and he found like all the other Brat Pack guys and asked them what they thought of it, and nobody seemed to hate it as much as he did. Some of them, like Emilio Estevez, were like, yeah, I don't like that. I don't really, some of them didn't want to talk about it. Molly Ringwald just passed and was like, I'm not going to talk to you about that. I'd rather not. And some of them had a really healthy attitude, like Rob Lowe, and were like, no, it's cool. It's cool, man. We were the Brat Pack. It was a moment in time. It was awesome. But he really had this deep resentment. And Greg says Adam hated it too. Yeah, it's not good, man. It's not good. It's just a joyless documentary. Like you watch it and you feel like, my God, Andrew McCarthy, how much did they pay you on these movies? You didn't have enough to hire a therapist, because this is like 40 years worth.
Is there anything worse than a bad documentary? Like, is there anything worse? I can't think of it. I rarely see a bad documentary. I can't even think of one.
A Yui Bowl movie?
No, documentary.
I think I like Uwe Boll movies because
I thought Rampage was great. Personally.
yeah, you gotta. Well, I mean, you know what you're getting there.
Yeah,
you know, it's
Und Boll.
I love that guy. I really do. I love that guy because he's so bad. Like he's not good.
He's made a legitimate good movie.
Which one?
Rampage.
I never saw
the shooter
Rampage.
movie. That movie's
Okay.
crazy good.
Wow. All right.
Wait,
Good acting and everything.
The one that with The Rock.
No, Rampage is the one. It's with the guy. It's a Canadian actor. It's like this. It's really like violent. It's about a rampage, like a shooter. You know, that this kid that decides to do it. It's kind of like nuanced. They don't say why. There's like it's kind of like it's very indie, like handheld camera stuff. I thought it was pretty good for Uwe Boll, but I love his bad stuff because they're bad. I love House of the Dead.
I really liked In the Name of the King.
Oh yeah, I like that one too.
Mainly
But
for
the acting. The acting is.
Yeah, the actors in it were
Ooh,
like lots of names.
you should check out Kim's video, Joe. I think you'd like that one.
Okay. This here is the worst documentary I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god!
Movie hoarders from VHS to DVD and beyond.
Won't waste my time.
Several friends of mine were in the movie.
Oh, Joe.
No.
You hate them.
No, here's the thing. They'll tell you it's bad too. They got contacted, were asked to be in this documentary. It's a documentary about physical media and collecting physical media. And they were like, it was my friend Rick from Down the Movie, my friend Joe Martinez. These guys were asked, hey, would you be in this documentary about collecting physical media? And they were like, yeah, sure. So, of course, I bought it like day one when it came out on Blu-ray. I was like, I got to get this. My friends are in it. It's just 2 hours of clips of people talking about.
There's no angle. That's what I picture. It's just people telling. Here's
it was. There's no
session.
narrative. There's no message. It's just these people collect movies. Here's 2 hours of them talking about it, and everybody says the same thing. They're all like, I own this. With digital, they could take it away from you. Nobody could take this away from me. That's mine, and it's on my shelf. And unless they come in my house and take it, it's 2 hours of that kind of discourse. And it's like, dude, we've all heard those arguments before. We all know.
Making them right now.
Yeah. But here's 15 guys saying it for like 20, 30 minutes each. You know what's
an amazing documentary that I thought was going to be really bad, but it's one of the most charming documentaries I've ever seen. The one on Kenny G. There's a documentary on Kenny G. I think it's on Max. It actually goes into his life, how he became it goes into his haters, like critics, people that like him, and it goes into the man himself. And he's such a delight. And I ended up loving that documentary because he has such a good mind frame. He has a very interesting life. And it was it's really funny because he knows the meme, right? Everyone knows, like, I don't know why people hate me. And it dives into that. It dives into like what he did to like jazz and making up the idea of smooth jazz and all this stuff. It's really funny, really heartfelt. Good documentary.
That one with the physical media one. I wonder if Max has seen that documentary yet.
I think you could watch it for free on a lot of those like Tubi and everything. Like I think it's up there with ads.
Man, one of these days we gotta like look through that document. I've never been in the documentary section on Tubi. Who knows what horrors lie in there? Oh my god.
Yeah, I was gonna say I recently watched the Movie Pass documentary. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
But I don't think I got to finish my thought though. The thing I love about Uwe Boll is here's this guy who's just so terrible, so talentless, and yet he's got such an attitude about him. Like if you don't like his movies, he beats up his critics. Yeah. Like he literally challenges his critics to boxing matches and beats them up. It's like, oh, you don't like my movie? I'll beat you up. I mean, the guy's he's a character, man. Like he's really a character. So
he has a Letterboxd account.
Does he really?
Yeah, and it's hilarious. He just goes all in on all the movies. He was making fun of Avengers, Age of Ultron. He's just trashing it. It's amazing.
And Greg says, "We Are the World" documentary that was a good one. That We Are the World. Oh, you know what? Here's one from a couple of years ago One of my viewers a couple of years ago kept telling me I had to check out a documentary, and I thought it was a joke. Like, I thought he was pulling my leg, but it was real, and it was actually good. There is a good documentary on the song "Who Let the Dogs Out," because apparently, unbeknownst to me, that song has a complicated history. There's like 3 or 4 different people who take credit for having written the song, and people argue over who wrote that song. Like when he said to me,
Batman of songs.
Yeah, when he said to me, "Did you see the Who Let the Dogs Out documentary?" I was like, "This is a bit, right? Like, I mean, come on." But no, it's a really good documentary. It's worth checking out, actually. I think it's called "Who Let the Dogs Out."
Yeah, I think you know how Watch Mojo does like all these different lists of different stuff. That came up in one of those, so I learned about it a little bit from them.
Yeah, that was a wild one.
You guys didn't see the new Acolyte episode?
Not yet. I'm gonna watch it as soon as
it was okay, but then man, does it end in a banger. It gets really good. The last 10 minutes are really good.
Was that episode 3 or did 4 come out?
Episode 4.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
I like
really good.
I like the show so far, but I have to say I don't think they've topped the first episode yet. Like the first episode has still been my favorite episode.
I know, right? What's going on? Like everything, like the production value, everything was great in that first. I think the first 2. I'd even give it to the second one. I like the second episode a lot too.
Yeah.
You know who's really making me laugh? And it's somebody that we're both mostly friends with. Joe is
mostly
Junkman.
Mostly friends. Junkman. Yeah, I don't know.
His tweets about it and his live stream, this past live stream, I was just in there giving him crap because he hasn't watched it and he's just like, whatever Russ says, he's just reacting to it. I'm like, dude, watch it.
I like his attitude. I like Junkman's attitude towards it because he said it didn't look like it was a show for him. Like he said that from the trailers, he didn't see anything that interested him. But he's also acknowledging the bullshit surrounding it because he's going after like all these like, you know, people who hate it. And he's like, I think he seems to be taking the attitude of like, it's got to be somewhere in the middle. Like this isn't for me, but it can't be as bad as these people are claiming it is. And
yeah. Well, me and him had an exchange this morning about the witches because I was like, yeah, they've had the night witches now since I guess they were introduced early in the Clone Wars. Might have been before that. I'm not really sure.
He hates the cartoons. He hates Clone Wars and Rebels. He's like, I'm not watching cartoons.
I understand the people who don't like the animation style of it. I didn't like I didn't really like Clone Wars a lot. I really like Rebels and Bad Batch because I feel like they improved on it. But I can understand people that don't. I thought the story in Bad Batch was worth watching, and same with Rebels. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I really had trouble with Clone Wars and Bad Batch. I can't get into either of those. I liked Rebels though. I think I just don't care for the prequel era. I think the prequel era doesn't interest me because you know what it comes down to? I don't really like the Jedi. I don't care for the Jedi. They Luke and Rey are probably my 2 favorite Jedi because they're the Jedi characters who weren't raised as Jedi. They're the Jedi characters that are more like normal people who then found out, oh, I could be a Jedi later in life. But you know, the characters who were raised by
took
the Jedi,
easy road out.
Yeah, the characters who were raised by the Jedi, like, you know, in the Jedi Temple, all the Padawans and everything, they're all so stoic and
full of themselves.
They're kind of boring. You know, they're kind of like, Krazy says all Jedi are bastards. I kind of agree.
Where I would really like them to go, and I know a lot of people will agree, is doing like a Knights of the Old Republic kind of thing. Like go way back in the past, maybe tell the story of, you know, Revan, because you know Revan would freely go from being a Jedi to a Sith, seeing like whatever suited him the best.
The Jedi, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to blame Lucas's prequels for how they portrayed him, and like people like at best it's like they could fix it. And I remember Knights of the Old Republic, like it made like I heard like there was a monologue made by some character in that game that was just like so beautiful that actually nailed why what Lucas did was actually great. And I was like, I completely forgot it. And it's like, and that's the problem. It's like all the great stuff that are picking up the pieces from fucking, sorry for cursing if I'm not allowed to curse, picking up the pieces from Lucas's kind of broken system in the prequels. Like, it's kind of sad. Like, and things get great now. Yeah, like Clone Wars, all these animated stuff, all this stuff is just picking up the pieces and making it better, fleshing out characters, doing this. Like Darth Maul matters way more outside of just looking cool, because these people had to work with that system he set up, and I think it's a hindrance. I think like even in Acolyte, like in this episode, minor spoilers, they go to a Jedi temple and it's like, man, they can only have these kids in one freaking room doing the same freaking thing in every single like thing now, you know? They can't branch off anymore. It's like, that's how Jedi are trained. Like, all right. It's a little bit like he kind of limited it. I don't know.
This is why I keep saying Star Wars needs to go. I keep saying that the project I'm most excited about is the Rey movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is because post Rise of Skywalker is the most fertile ground for stories, because you don't have existing continuity that you have to worry about bumping into. Like with the High Republic, it's 100 years before the prequels, so you know where you know as far as you can go. You know, like, well, we can go to here, but we can't contradict any of this stuff. And with the Mandalorian and Ahsoka, they're 5 years between Jedi and Force Awakens, and it's like, again, there's only so far you can go, because we're going to bump into the continuity there. We have to make sure it's consistent. The only area where you don't have that problem is post Rise of Skywalker, because there's no stories past that yet. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to worry, well, this isn't going to be consistent.
And I agree with that. And if you did want to go all the way back in the past, to tell the beginnings or whatever, there's not a whole lot there that's quote unquote canon.
Right.
So there's so many things you could tell without bumping into, other stuff. I just wanted Boba Fett season 2, and
yeah.
But I know I'm never gonna get it, so
well, I don't know. I think we could.
Boba Fett. I think
Yeah.
I think we could definitely end his story arc, or we could see where he's at. He could he might not get a show, but he'll show up in some episodes. You cool, Vince?
yeah, making sure this cat's not whining.
Okay.
To mute my mic or something.
And what was also, I'm a huge believer that I think Luke Skywalker was destined to go really bad, based on everything that happened in Return of the Jedi. The lack of training, all this stuff. Like Luke was destined to be. I was very excited with Force Awakens because they weren't showing Luke, and I was like, man, if he's the main baddie for this trilogy, that's going to be amazing. That's going to mean so much. That's going to be so impactful. This is going to be like the greatest villain of all time.
If you remember,
and they kind of did it half-assed. It was like, he just doesn't care. I don't know.
Return of the Jedi, they had to make Lucas change the name because it was Revenge of the Jedi at first.
Yeah.
And that was 2 or 3 weeks before the movie came out that they had to change. They changed the marketing or whatever on that. And then he was dressed. I think he was gonna go Luke going dark, and he changed his mind or something. Because if you look at the beginning of like the Jabba the Hutt scene when he's getting Han back in return, like that was some Sith swag he was using the whole time. He was using like Dark Force. I have that theory, and it was like, oh man, like the way he was like choking people out, and he was just like so smooth. He was so confident. It was like, I think he was using Dark Force, whatever it was, or the dark side. Yeah. I know it's not popular to say in these communities, but I was okay with Luke dying in Last Jedi. I was okay with all of the legendary.
I wanted to move on from them, so I didn't like.
Yeah.
It could have been better, but sure, I didn't mind it. I think Last Jedi is probably, I don't know, it's probably my favorite out of those. I don't know.
I saw it 3 times in theater, and I usually don't even.
Oh, really?
I'm not somebody who goes to the see a movie, multiple times. But yeah, I meant to say, I was okay with the legacy characters passing the torch and moving on, and so we could move on and not be stuck in the same era that we've been stuck in for 40 years, 50 years now.
There's something like inherently sad about like they defeated the Empire. It's like, bro, they're gonna go through this shit again. Like, just leave them alone. Like, as old people's like, let them have their ending. I was so happy with spoilers for Halloween Ends when Laurie Strode got her ending, and it's like, that's good. Thank God. Let her find peace. Move on.
I gotta say, I liked her ending better in Halloween H2O.
Really?
I love that scene in Halloween H2O where she closes the gate and it's like, I'm done running. I am going to handle this. I'm going to take care of it. I know they totally undid it in the next movie.
That's the climax. I'm talking about like the final scenes where we leave Laurie is like, you see all the rooms and like a take on Halloween, the original Halloween, where you hear Michael Myers breathing. And it's sort of a take on the idea that he could be anywhere all over this neighborhood. So they show different shots of the house. He could be here, he could be there. And then they did it again in Halloween Ends, but you don't hear the breathing. You just see pieces of that. And I thought that was such a beautiful ending. Like I thought it was almost poetic. I was like, that's great. That's cap it off. That's her ending. No more. And it's like,
well, I'll do. I know you're not little television perp. You've said that before.
Sure.
So I don't know how well you know these TV shows, but
depends.
There's 2 final episodes of 2 TV shows that I think are the same ending on polar opposite ends.
Mm-hmm.
I think they reflect each other very, very well.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Battlestar Galactica and Lost.
No.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
One of them turned out not to be the final episode anymore, because they went back and did more than. But it was Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Dexter.
Dexter. Oh my God.
Everybody got very upset about that Dexter ending, and I thought it was brilliant because with Buffy, you had this ending where have you seen the final episode? Well, the original final episode of Dexter.
I don't remember. No, I don't. I'd seen Buffy. I was a huge fan of Buffy. Now I'm thinking, I don't remember. I don't think I've seen the final episode of Buffy.
In the final episode of Buffy, spoiler event to a show that's over 20 years old, but in the final episode of Buffy, Morse, she shared her power with all these other girls who had the potential to be the next Slayer. And now there was no longer a single Slayer in the world. There were multiple Slayers. And the final shot is a close-up on Buffy's face, and she has a look of relief in her eyes. She's relieved because no longer does the weight of the world lie solely on her shoulders. She has help now. She's not alone anymore. Yeah. And you just end on this shot of Buffy's face, and her face has this shot of total relief. Contrast that with, we get the original final episode of Dexter before they came back and did another season, where Dexter ends up faking his death, and he moves up north, and he's living like as a lumberjack, and we see the final shot. Dexter goes into his home, and we end on a final shot of Dexter's face, and you can see in his eyes that he is alone and haunted, and it's the exact opposite of what we got from Buffy. So whereas Buffy ended where we have this girl who suddenly finds that she's no longer alone and she gets this sense of relief, Dexter takes us the exact opposite way. We have this guy who realizes he cannot live in society with normal people. He can't be one of us, because if he is, people are going to get hurt, because this is his nature and this is who he is, and he cannot get close to people. Yeah. And whereas Buffy had this sense of relief, Dexter has this sense of I'll never be free. And I thought it was a sad ending, but a brilliant ending. And I couldn't believe it because everybody went nuts the next day talking about how that ending sucked. And I'm like, I thought that was a pretty powerful ending.
My GF included, yeah. You know, it was a badass ending that was like both like, it was amazingly badass, but also sad and also like rejuvenating. You ever see The Hurt Locker?
I never did.
Okay, the final shot. Oh my god, it's just like wow. You're just like that's badass and sad at the same time. Awesome. I never gotten that feeling before.
You know what ending pissed me off was Dark Matter on Sci-Fi.
Dark
I
Matter.
got,
I've
yeah,
heard of that. What is that? What is that about?
that
I heard
one
of
that there's two different Dark Matters.
Mm.
That one on Sci-Fi Channel was about these 5 people that wake up on a spaceship and they don't know who they are.
Oh yes, yes. Okay, I've heard of that one. Yes.
And
Okay.
third season ended. Show got canceled, so it never actually got an ending.
Mm.
But now the newer Dark Matter is about the what ifs. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's on Apple. The show's really good.
Mm.
Basically, you've seen Sliders, right?
Yeah.
I know what it
It's
is.
the same kind of premise, but it focuses on this one person in his life. So I think it's really good. And the guy who wrote the novel is actually heavily involved in the show. So it's not like, it's being adapted by somebody who didn't have anything to do with it. And it can kind of drag. Like, I think this has got 9 episodes and 7 have aired. So I definitely recommend it if you have access to watch it.
Cool. I gotta check that out. You know what else you know what I haven't watched on Apple yet? And God, it's been like 4 years now.
Monarch.
I need to watch it. I still haven't watched the revival that Apple did of Amazing Stories. They did another season of Amazing Stories, Spielberg's anthology show from the 80s. And I loved that show growing up. And there's a whole other season of it streaming on Apple TV Plus that I haven't watched yet. I don't know. I guess I'm waiting for my formal invitation. I got to get to it.
You see Monarch?
I kind of bailed on Monarch.
Okay.
I started watching it.
I
didn't really. Yeah, I don't know. I found it very slow.
Yeah, I like slow stuff. I like slow burns and stuff. I was digging the time jumps and relationship stuff. It made me very satisfied with the Kong versus Godzilla stuff. Because I think if I would have just seen that schlock, the new one, I think I might have been a little more, I don't know,
Alien retcon.
negative.
Spoilers coming in hot. I don't know how I feel.
I am probably actually not going to see Alien Romulus in the theater. Like, I think it's going to be fun and great, but like the trailer didn't blow me away. Like, I think the other trailers from the Scott ones were far superior. We're talking about the trailers alone. I think Prometheus, I was very disappointed with Prometheus, but I think that trailer alone is a masterpiece. And to see it go back to just haunted house stuff, which it could still be done very well and very fun. I'm just like, all right, not a. I'll probably go in the theater. I'm lying to myself. I'm trying to be cool. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be cool here. I'll probably go to the theater.
I don't know. I'll probably see it too, but I'm not.
I'm not excited for it.
I'm not excited either. I'm not
Yeah.
yet.
Didn't hit me. Yeah.
I remember, like, I come back to Terminator Genesis. My wife and I went to see Terminator Genesis, and we walked out, and I said to her, "What did you think of it?" And she said, "It was a Terminator movie." And I said, "Yeah, that's my feeling too. It was a Terminator movie."
I think we would have not thought that if we didn't know John Connor was going to be with that spoiler in it, right? Where I wish they didn't put that in the trailer.
Maybe, but I think
because I think that alone doesn't make it just another Terminator movie. But once you know, it's like, all right, it is another Terminator movie. I feel like it kind of ruined a little bit of a spark it could have had.
But that kind of reflected, because that was the first time I kind of ever felt like that, where it was like, well, that's just a Terminator movie. But then I felt that again coming out of Alien Covenant. I was like, it's an Alien movie. And I realized, much like the Terminator movie, the Alien movies, we know all the tropes. We know how these movies play out. We know they find the eggs, the egg hatches.
Yeah.
Somebody gets a face hugger on them.
I think Covenant and Prometheus, to be fair, while I was disappointed with them, have some very interesting ideas with the character of David and him, like, sort of being jealous of human beings and wanting to be a god himself. And that's why he sort of, I guess, created the aliens or is wiping out species and shit. I find that very fascinating. I love the idea, like when he was teaching his clone or the other android the flute, and then they kissed. I'm like, all right, this is weird shit that we need more of in our Alien. Like Alien was weird, right? It was like that's what Alien wasn't about. It wasn't just about a physical alien. It was like the whole thing felt alien. Like the feeling is alien, you know. And we need that back, not just haunted house shit in a spaceship, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else I'm excited about.
There's
I'm
tons.
I'm starting to realize that the strike really did put
Damage,
a damper.
I mean,
on the
I've been
box
saying
office.
it, dude. Me and Degrassi have had this conversation. How like we were having this in November or October. It's like, man, we're gonna feel this shit for the next year and a half. So 2024 and half of 2025, we're gonna be feeling like movies ain't doing like what's wrong? What's that feeling? It's that
there's
shit.
one movie.
You've been saying it for months.
One movie I was going to bring up earlier called Kinds of Kindness.
Yes, the Yorgos movie.
I figured you were excited about that one.
Well, Jesse, the actor Jesse Plemons, I believe is his name.
Mm-hmm.
He won Best Actor in Cannes. So,
yeah, that's Kirsten Dunst's husband, I think.
Who just killed it in one scene in Civil War, which was a pretty good movie. I like Civil War. I know you guys, it's very divisive, Joe. I don't think you were very positive about it.
The premise of it just doesn't interest me.
Oh, I loved. I didn't love it, but I really liked it. That's do a rewatch for sure. I like Civil War a lot. I thought it was cool. That Kinds of Kindness is Jesse Plemons, and I can't wait to see him in that. And Emma Stone, who's been on a freaking rampage. Emma Stone produced I Saw the TV Glow. Did you know that, Joe?
Yeah, I saw her name in the credits.
Yeah, she's on one right now. Damn. No, that was her production too. Is in the I forget what it was called, but her production company shows up in the beginning credits.
By the way, I obviously it's a divisive movie. We know it's a divisive movie. Sure. But I don't know if you saw Matt Jarbo hated TV Glow.
I knew it. I knew it. Dude, come on, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know, but I'm a little more surprised by him than other people. Like, I mean, obviously it's a divisive film, but he seems more the audience for it than a lot of people. I think.
Completely disagree.
Really?
The last movie I've been hearing Jarbo talk about is Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny. And while that's a fun, good movie, like that's what he's been in love with for the last almost a year. From that to I Saw the TV Glow, I was like, oh man, you know.
Is that his favorite movie of last year, Dial of Destiny?
That's the one when I've heard him personally, my experience, he talks about a lot and loving, and that's fine. That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad someone's championing that movie as hard as Jarbo is.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. Yeah, but I don't think it's even.
Yeah, that's radically. That Jarbo seems like he likes the fun, summer blockbuster popcorn movies.
Yeah, I just showed my dad that one a few weeks ago. Because he hadn't seen it.
Yeah, Dial of Destiny.
Yeah, Dial of Destiny. He would probably look at me like I was crazy if I showed him. I saw the TV Glow.
Yeah, no.
He's in his 80s, so
you got to be very careful who you're recommending that to, Joe. I was hesitating recommending that to you, Joe. I was like, I don't know if Joe's gonna like this. But
really,
yeah. I don't know. It's very divisive.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know. You're just like, I don't know if you're gonna like that or not.
Yeah, I think the 3 movies that are gonna do well in the box office next month are Longlegs, Twisters, and Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think Twisters is gonna freaking struggle. As much as we love Glenn.
Honestly, you couldn't pay me to watch Twisters.
Yeah, that trailer did not. The guys, this is a destruction. This is 2024. This is a destruction movie. Like,
I'm not gonna go see it.
No, I don't think anyone is.
It just looks like
I could be wrong though. I could be absolutely wrong, and I don't know shit about audiences anymore.
Yeah, I'm not big on the unaligned sequel thing. Like, you remember, this is going back a long time, The Fugitive and U.S. Marshals. If you didn't tell somebody that was a sequel, they wouldn't know the difference.
What if it's good? Okay, if it gets over 70% tomato meter, I'll definitely see it in the theater. That's true. If I'm getting good word of mouth, I like the tomato meter. Letterbox, bunch of 3s, 4s. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, Degrassi.
Here's the thing, though. It's a sequel to a movie that I hate. Like, I really hate Twister.
Really?
I can't
Twister's
stand that movie. And it looks like it's the same thing. Like, it looks like it's just the same story. Like, I keep saying, it looks to me like the Asylum mockbuster version of Twister. Like, we're going to do the exact same thing, but with it's my understanding that lead guy, what's his name, Glenn something. Apparently people like him, but I don't think I've ever seen him in a movie. So like, I looked at that trailer and I'm like, this is a no-name cast. This is a no-name cast basically doing the exact same thing as the first movie.
Yeah, you didn't like Top Gun Maverick either, did you?
I didn't like Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, he was in that.
Oh, see, I don't even remember.
We got Beetlejuice. Anyone excited for that one? Transformers.
I'm cautiously excited about Beetlejuice. I think the one problem with Beetlejuice is the trailer looks like it repeats too many jokes from the original. We got this. She says his name and he goes, "Ee!" and like closes her mouth. We saw that already. And
I have not dug the marketing for that movie. I'm probably not going to go to the movies for that one. There's this movie I keep hearing about it's actually called Night Bitch with Amy Adams. That's been getting a lot of play in festivals.
I do love Amy Adams.
Did it get
played? That's one I wrote down on my list too.
No, it's not festival. Sorry, that hasn't played anywhere, but it's getting hyped somehow.
When is that? I had that on my list, and I'm trying to remember when it comes out.
Night Bitch.
I get all my dates and
that.
Stuff
I wasn't interested at first for that anime Lord of the Rings, but I saw like the animation, and I saw the lead character, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. That looks dope. That shit looks dope. And I hope we get a video game version of that. Did you see that? Did you see how that looks? Or you don't care for anime, right, Joe?
It's anime.
Yeah, but it's done. Yeah. It's Lord of the Rings done in anime style. It looks like the art.
It's not gorgeous. It's not going to be like. How do I say this nicely? It's not anime made for weebs. You know, like the guys into the little cute little girls and skirts and all that. That's not the style. That
it's the first Lord of the Rings project to be led by a female lead, which is cool.
I think
it's an anime, and I was like, damn, okay, I'll watch that.
I'm looking at it now. Like I looked up some pictures. I hate anime. Like I can't stand the style of the animation style of anime.
Sure.
This doesn't look as obnoxious as most anime to me.
Yeah, I think it looks great. And then there's this other movie called Cuckoo, which also had really good festival run. It had one of the best trailers of the year. That's coming out, I think. When is Cuckoo coming out? August. Really looking forward to that. Yeah. We're eating as horror, we're eating good. Horror fans are eating good all year. All year. We got something.
Yeah, this style of anime wasn't made to be only to appeal to 14-year-old little kids going through puberty.
I really like that. I really like that idea, and I was gonna poo-poo it. I was like, an anime of Lord of the Rings, I'm not gonna watch that. But now that I think of it and thinking, it's like, this is actually really cool, and I hope Warner Brothers does more interesting stuff like that. They already been doing that with their DC. We got a Suicide Squad anime on the way.
And what got me the most excited for it is that Brian Cox is the main lead voice in it.
Mm.
And anything he's in, I'm usually, I'm sure you've seen Super Troopers.
I love Super Troopers. I love Favre.
What's that one place with all the shit on the wall?
Shenanigans?
Yeah.
Perp, let me get your thought on this because it is horror related.
Okay.
As you know, I love my Mahoning Drive-In in Lehighton, Pennsylvania. I go there. The new season started. I've been there a few times this year already. And in the past week, last Sunday, I was there for Clue. And then I was there again Friday night for Gremlins and Gremlins 2. And then I was back again on Sunday for Boogie Nights. So it's a bit of a drive. It's a hike to get up there. And when they do a double feature, you don't leave till late at night. So you're leaving at past 1 a.m, and then you have over an hour drive. So I was kind of thinking, I've also still got this boot on, this stupid boot, which isn't coming off till July. So there's an event going on Saturday night, and I was thinking about going, and then I thought, it's too much of a pain in the ass. I got the boot. I've been there a lot lately. But my wife's going to be out of town. So if I don't go, I'm going to be sitting at home alone. Let me get your thoughts. Would you take the hike out again? If you've already done this like 3 times in the past week, would you take the hike out there again for Freddy Krueger's birthday party? A double feature of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1 and Wes Craven's New
Nightmare. Damn. And it's a party. Man, dude, it was an easy no for me because you have the boot. That's the freaking X factor. The fact that you have the boot too to take over there. But it's Freddy's party. Damn. It's a tougher one. I would say, dude, you should probably rest up.
But here's the thing. I'm not going back for the entire month of July. Like, I saw their slate for July. There's nothing that's got me excited for July. Okay. They're
that is Freddy's party. Jesus.
They're there Thursday, awesome. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'm just like, maybe I should just, one more time for the month of June. Then they got some great stuff coming in August. August, they're doing Monster Squad. They got a Monster Squad double feature with the Goonies. On a Friday night, you could see Goonies and Monster Squad. And then on Saturday night, you could see Monster Squad and It Chapter 1. And then about a week after that, full theatrical cut of Grindhouse.
Wow. With the trailers?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go in for Grindhouse. I'm definitely for Grindhouse.
Grindhouse is great.
Yeah,
I love Grindhouse.
And then here's one they're doing on a Thursday night. I've never seen the movie. So this will be a first time view for me. I'm thinking of going. Videodrome. Oh God, you're not gonna like that movie, Joe. I'm not.
Nope.
Oh, it's a bit of a classic.
Yeah, it is. Cult classic. Weird as hell. Long live the new flesh, Joe. Long live the new flesh.
I don't know. You don't think I'd like it? I don't know.
I know. I know
you said I wouldn't. You said I wouldn't like TV.
That's true. That's true. You're absolutely right. You know what? It would surprise me if you come in here. Either way, you're gonna have the same tone when you're describing certain scenes, whether you like it or not. I'm sure you're gonna have the same tone. You mean he had what in his stomach? In his chest? All right. It's
directed by Star Trek Discovery's own David Cronenberg.
One of Jason's first kill in Jason X, the one where he goes to space. It's the only reason he's in that movie.
When Degrassi's wife's out of town, he has a Free Jack marathon.
You watch that movie over and over again with Emilio Estevez? It's a good movie. Proceed. Rolling Stone guy.
I like that movie. Not many people like that movie, but I like that movie.
Yeah,
the crash is very weird. I forgot how it happens. I just remember he just flies into a billboard or something. It's like, what?
Just like somebody on Twitter the other day asked, name a Mark Hamill movie that's not Star Wars. So I said The Guyver.
Hell yeah, The Guyver's awesome. And you know what's better than The Guyver? The Guyver 2, Dark Hero. Let's go.
See, if you said to me, name a non-Star Wars Mark Hamill movie, my go-to would probably be John Carpenter's Village of the Damned.
Village of the one where he's a priest?
Yeah.
He shoots himself in the head?
Well, I remember seeing it in the theater, and there's the scene where he's got the rifle and he's going to try to kill the kids.
Yeah.
And the kids start using the power of their mind, and they start making him turn the gun, and he starts going like this. And he's trying to fight it. And everyone in my theater was yelling at the screen, use the force, Luke.
Goodness.
What other Mark Hamill did he do? Time Runner or Space Run? He did something like that. Time Runner or Space Hunter. He was a runner of sorts.
Yeah, I think he was in one called Time Runner.
Yeah.
But yeah, Slipstream was one.
I don't know. The Guyver, what else in Joker? Other than that, I don't know his movie stuff.
Didn't he do like a car movie like for Roger Corman back in the day? Like before Star Wars? I think he was in a Roger Corman car movie.
I know Ron Howard.
Corvette Summer.
Oh, he was in that one? Corvette Summer?
Yeah, that was that maybe I'm wrong. Was Corvette Summer? I don't know if it was Corman, but I want it sounds like it would be Corman.
I saw Corman's I think it was Ron Howard's "Eat My Dust" and Grand Theft Auto, which was ended up being Ron Howard's directional debut.
Yeah, I was
Grand
gonna
Theft
say,
Auto.
speaking of Cronenberg, I still don't know how I feel about his reveal in Discovery. I kind of like it, but then I kind of don't.
I'll watch it if he's not bad.
Wow. It doesn't look like no, Roger Corman had nothing to do with Corvette Summer. My mistake. But Mark Hamill did star in it with Annie Potts.
Roger Corman did Death Race with Stallone.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did.
Frankenstein or some shit. Forgot the name. I didn't mind the Paul W.S. Anderson Death Race. God damn, that's a freaking tongue twister. I can't say anything. I can't talk anymore. I should leave.
Here's a funny story about Death Race. A friend of mine back in 2000, we're at the Chiller Theater Convention in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and what's his name was there? Kung Fu. Kung Fu was there. Yeah, Carradine. So my friend takes up his Blu-ray copy, or I guess actually it wouldn't have been Blu-ray back then. I guess it was a DVD. Takes his DVD of Death Race 2000. You know how these conventions work. There's a guy sitting next to the star, collects the money, and he gives it was $20 for an autograph back then. So he gives the $20 to the guy sitting next to Carradine, puts the disc in front of Carradine. Carradine looks at it and he says, "I'm not going to sign that. I'm ashamed I ever made that movie." DeGrasse's here. Welcome, DeGrasse.
Well, thank you. Hello, gentlemen.
But Carradine goes, "I'm not going to sign that. I'm ashamed I ever made this movie. This movie's a disgrace, and I wish I never made it, and I'm not going to sign your disc." And my friend says, "Well, I think you are going to sign it because I just gave the guy next to you $20 and he took my money." So Carradine reluctantly signs his disc and then says to the guy next to him, "If anyone else comes up here with anything Death Race related, don't take their money because I'm not signing any more Death Race merch." And then about, 8 years passed, and they made the remake of Death Race, and David Carradine did a cameo.
That sounds like him. He was notoriously cranky.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how he died, right?
Yeah. I mean, the choke
Cranky?
jerk. The
Or
choke
wanky?
jerk. Yeah, it was very cranky.
Very wanky.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Hell of a way to go. Hell of a way to go.
Speaking of which, I'd like to make my announcement that my full multimedia album / cinematic experience is coming out very soon. I have an album coming out. It's got a bunch of new bangers, over 30 minutes of 42 minutes of music from all genres coming out very soon. Video, art piece, AI, it's everything. Everything I've ever wanted to say. Everything I've ever wanted to do. It's coming out soon.
You're
Be on
singing?
the lookout.
You're singing?
No.
It's all
I wrote
AI.
all the lyrics. I wrote all the lyrics except for 2 songs, but that's because they're special songs. You'll see. You'll see.
Yeah, the AI music.
Full artistic art AI multimedia piece.
Look at this. We got a whopping 2 viewers right now. 2 viewers.
That's
Hell
a
yeah.
party.
You're welcome.
I think all the viewers joined the stream or the StreamYard.
Yeah, apparently, and we lost everyone else. I guess Greg left, and we lost Happy Gollum and Jay Retro. Everyone else, they took off. Lisa's gone. Man,
They're all gone.
That's probably my fault. I've been branded a toxic troll and just full of vile negativity. So, no,
Yeah,
I don't know any of those people. I'm sorry if it was me.
Yeah, I was telling Chris on Twitter earlier. I'm thinking about just checking out and going back to Twitch, not to stream, but like hanging out with my gaming friends on there because where these communities have really, went. You're either an echo chamber or just all the drama that's been going on all over talking about movies and stuff. I don't get it.
Yeah,
go ahead, Joe.
No, I was just gonna say I'm tired of the echo chamber. I'm tired of like having something to say that nobody wants to hear, so you get shouted down because that's not the popular opinion, and that would be fine if what you were saying was factually inaccurate. But if you're coming from a place of where you can back that up and people just don't want to hear it, then it kind of pisses me off.
Yeah, that's my major. Yeah, you said a lot right there, Joe.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
For me personally, I've mainly just been sticking around, the Williams channel because obviously since I help him with the channel, but I go on to these other ones and it's like people fighting in the in the chats and all that. I'm just like, we're talking about movies and shows, right? It doesn't have to be like that serious. Like calling each other names over.
Yeah.
You're a crybaby if you don't like Disney, or you're a shill if you like Disney. I'm just like, shut the hell up.
I was saying on Twitter the other day, some guy called me a shill, and it's like these people don't know what shill means. They don't understand the meaning of the word. Because I even put the definition up there. It's like if you're not getting paid, or if you don't have some kind of gain, or if you're not like part of the people putting it together, and like it's listed in the dictionary as like a stooge or a plant or somebody who's like trying to push an agenda for their own gain. So just calling someone who likes something a shill, that's not what a shill is by definition. So it's like they've just taken this word. It's becoming like literally. People like always use the word literally when they meant figuratively, and then eventually they just changed the definition in the dictionary, and now literally means figuratively because enough people misuse the word. And it's like we're trying to do that with shill. Like, well, we don't know what shill means, so we're just going to use it to mean what we want it to mean.
Well, it's all internet vernacular, like like the word boomer. There's an actual definition, and then there's the internet definition of like not keeping up with the times or whatnot. So yeah, I know where you're coming from with that.
I think it's becoming impossible for even whatever the current generation is, what the up and whatever is it, Gen Z? Are we past Gen Z? What do we got after Gen
Z? I think they're at like Gen AA now or something. I know that sounds stupid.
Oh no, I think it's Generation Alpha. I think
that's it. That's it. Yeah. I knew they reversed and went back to A again.
Yeah. So
Alpha is for anybody born in like 2010. Like my son, he was born in 2010.
That's pretty cool.
Like I think they're like born boomers because how are you supposed to keep up, right? Mm. Like everything is so like segmented, and then within those segmentations, there's fragmentation, and everything is so. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. There's just so much content, for lack of a better term. How is anybody supposed to keep up? I don't care how young or old you are or what generation you're in. There's just too many choices.
I'm finding that I want to go back the other way. Like I started rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer with my daughter, and I'm enjoying it so much. And I'm like, well, why do I need to watch new shows? I could just go back. I could be, when you meet like back in the day, if you met like a senior citizen, there's the new generation. There they are, the alphas.
The generation alphas.
But it's like back in the day, you met like a senior citizen, and they always listened to like old timey music. They didn't keep up with the modern music. It's like I know what I like, and it's old. And I feel like I'm starting to get into that point where I'm like, why am I trying to keep up with Reacher? I could just be watching Buffy reruns.
Or you could just read the books and then be done with it.
Yeah.
Within it, like this Gyllenhaal's got this new show on Apple, and I'm like, I read the Scott Turow book. I saw who did the movie, Presumed Innocent. It was a Scott Turow book, and then Harrison Ford did the movie. I forget who directed it.
Presumed
Might have
Innocent.
been. Yeah, it might have been. Was it one of Lumet's final movies? I don't remember.
Or Pollack, yeah.
Sidney Pollack or Sidney Lumet, one of the Sydneys.
Yeah. It's a Sydney for sure. Shot in Sydney, Australia.
Oh, by the way, my Perpin Degrassi, my girlfriend says hi. And
Hello. But I have no reason to watch that show. You know what I mean? I read the book. I get it. It's, you know, a new interpretation with some talented people. But I think I'm Gyllenhaaled out right now. You know, except for Maggie. She's making that Frankenstein movie, and I'm all over that. So
And Roadhouse too.
yeah,
that's got a thing for Maggie, huh?
Happy Gollum says woke versus non-woke. I am so done with woke. I do not need to hear that word ever again.
I don't even know what it means anymore, man.
I was gonna bring that up. That's another reason that I'm ready to just check out of YouTube. Like as far as like the commentary that we do and stuff. Like, you know, watching big channels that are like, hey, watch me try this pizza, whatever. But like coming into like, interaction channels like this and just saying, oh my god, this is so woke. And I'm just like, shut the hell up.
Yeah, it's just a chyron basically for just to confirm biases. Basically, that's all that is. There is no such thing as woke or non-woke, and it's not to say that the people that are running these shows and writing these shows and directing these shows and acting in these shows don't have an agenda. Artists, their art is based on their agendas. You hear people talk about, well, that character was just a self-insert. What character isn't a fucking self-insert? If I'm writing something, every character is a self-insert. There's a piece of me going into literally every character. Experiences that I've had literally inform situations that characters experience in the story. It's just, yeah. I don't know.
And for these people that are like, oh, Hollywood's going left. It's like Hollywood's been left for like 100 years, man. Where have you been?
Yeah, it's wild because it's nothing has changed. Nothing has changed, but they act like something. Like when we hear people say, I can't watch Star Trek anymore. Star Trek's going woke. It's like, what do you think it was before? What do you think it was?
Only thing I'll push
back on. The reason I think there's a culture war is because they're being told that there's a culture war going on. Nobody's trying to take your fucking Christmas tree. Right. Like,
only pushback I'll do with Star Trek is I've been a Trek fan since I was like 7 years old, and I'm 40, so do the math. Is with Discovery, Adira and Gray. I never really saw them really try to flesh out those characters. So I did think that they might have been kind of just pushed in there to maybe do a checkbox. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. They introduced Adira and they introduced Gray, and Adira served a purpose on the show. Adira was a crew member. She was actually a Starfleet crew member on board the Discovery, and she had a role to play. And the problem with Gray, and yeah, I understand representation's important, and it was the first trans actor on Star Trek, and I respect all that. But like you said, there was nothing to Gray except Gray is Adira's boyfriend. That was Gray's whole role in the show. Gray was Adira's boyfriend. No other purpose. He didn't do anything. Like he didn't. And then I was so happy when they wrote him off because, I mean, yes, I'm glad you got a trans actor in Star Trek. That's wonderful. But the character had nothing to do on the show, no role on the ship, and that character was really only there to be a prop to help out the other character. Like, oh yeah, this is this character's boyfriend, and if you don't give that character something of their own to do, what's the point? So I didn't have a problem with Adira, but I certainly had a problem with Gray because they didn't write for Gray.
I mean, wasn't absolutely in love with the show overall, mainly because the whole premise of making Michael like the main. I prefer ensemble when it comes to Trek because I think it gives it so many different ways to look at the stories and stuff. But hey, it got 5 seasons, and of course, in my opinion, right now, 5 seasons is a new 7 for streaming.
Oh yeah, I'm already convinced Strange New Worlds is going to get 5 seasons.
And
They've
I
already
absolutely
renewed it.
love Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, they've renewed it for season 4, and I'm like, well, they're going to get 2 more. They're going to get 4 and 5 because that's. In fact, I gotta wonder if Strange New Worlds is actually going to get less than 5. They might end at 4, and not because people don't like the show, not because it's not a good show. I mean, people obviously love the show, but I'm wondering if it's going to get shuttered with Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Because will another streamer want to pick up a show that's going into year 5, or would they rather be like, just create us our own Star Trek show? We want our own show.
The deal with Skydance fell through, which
right
really sucks. And Sony, if they had sold to Sony, they were going to break up everything. So who knows who's going to own Star Trek?
The word last week was that Paramount doesn't want to sell anymore. They want to go on their own, but they want to drop Paramount Plus. Now, Degrassi's more connected than I am, so maybe he knows more than me, but that's what I heard about a week ago. Yeah. And if that's the case, I heard they want to be like Sony, like an arms dealer. We're going to make content for other streaming services, which would make some sense if you think about it, because if you look at the cast of Starfleet Academy, it's stacked with A-listers. Like they got Holly Hunter, they got Paul Giamatti. That's going to be very easy to sell to a Netflix or someone. They're going to look at that. They'll be like, look at that cast. Yeah, that's an easy sell.
I'm gonna head out, guys.
Take it easy, Perp.
Later, guys. Have a fun stream.
Yeah, I think we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon. We've been on for almost 2 hours.
Be on the lookout for my album. It's probably coming out Thursday.
All right.
The thing about dumping Paramount Plus is that Showtime is still a known quantity, and now they're kind of bundled together. Not kind of. I mean, they are. They're bundled together. Yeah, I don't know. I know that Warner Brothers really wants, which is weird because I don't know how it would benefit them. I guess it's the sports stuff. If Warner Brothers gets broadcast, Warner Brothers wants broadcasting. They want CBS network and everything that comes with that. So it's not beyond whoever does end up with it breaking some of it off. Byron Allen put a bid in, and that's the thing, is that it kind of went. That was the last you heard of that he put a bid in, and I don't even think they officially turned it down. But I mean, he would definitely get BET because and if they do, like, who gets Nickelodeon, who gets MTV, what else do they have?
Comedy Central, yeah,
Comedy Central,
VH1. What I think is you?
Yeah, who's got Lifetime?
Ooh, I don't know.
Oh no, that's Warner Brothers. That's Warner Brothers Discovery, isn't it?
Really? Okay, yeah. I didn't know that.
Real quick before I head out, because I'm going to eat my dinner here in a second. The whole Academy thing, that I'll watch it. I'll watch anything Star Trek. The only thing I haven't finished is Prodigy, and I'll get back to it.
I'm actually rewatching Prodigy right now, preparing for season 2.
Yeah, the whole Academy thing irritates me because I would rather have that Academy done in the 25th century, just because you could have legacy cameos from all of that. And with it being tied into Discovery's timeline, I'm just not convinced that it can really succeed. I mean, I'm sure it will. Who knows? But and then why do we need a villain in an Academy show? Because that's what Paul Giamatti is going to be, as the main villain of the show.
Maybe he's like the dean. So, and he's like he's just the asshole dean, and that's the villain.
Yeah, I hope it's that, and it's not just the cadets got to take out everything. Because William argued with me the other day. He's like, "Well, Spock took a bunch of cadets out on a ship." Like, yeah, but this is them in the Academy. I don't know if I would tie those things together. And I kind of just wish.
I'm wondering about how a certain career Trekster is feeling about this Starfleet Academy series.
Oh,
I bet he's
Cat-
just like he just no.
Rob.
Bob the drunk.
He's not happy about it. He keeps like
Oh no!
he
I
keep,
want you to imagine, having pitched to Paramount and CBS multiple Star Trek projects, and then several years
Oh,
later
you're talking
having
about
John Campea as your boss.
yeah, you're talking about Burnett. I got you.
I'm
So-
really happy that they're finally doing Academy, because the Academy show has been a rumor, a possibility that they brought up time and again, going back to the 90s when Next Generation was on. They were like, oh, maybe we'll do a spinoff about the Academy. And it's one of those things where it's like, shit or get off the pot. They brought it up so many times that it's like, well, finally, now going forward, we won't have, hey, maybe we should do Starfleet Academy as a possibility, because they will have finally done it.
I mean, I think didn't they? Wasn't it an idea that they toyed with even as far back as Phase 2?
Yeah.
It was for a while there. It was going to be Star Trek 6. When Star Trek 5 failed, they had a script about the original cast going through the Academy, and I've read that script, and it's pretty damn good.
Is that the Eric Gendrinson script? I think?
No, it was Harv Bennett. Harv Bennett was the producer at the time. It was
Oh,
his
that's
idea.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to do, and the idea was Shatner would be addressing the graduating class of Starfleet Academy, and he would tell them a story about when he was a cadet, and then it would flash back, and we would get younger actors as Spock and Kirk.
What's great about Harv Bennett is that he didn't give two shits for Star Trek when he got that job.
Yeah, but that's the thing that drives me crazy when Star Trek fans do the whole Gene's vision thing. Oh, Gene's vision. Like that, when people say that, it tells me they don't really know their Star Trek history, because those same people will tell you how much they love Wrath of Khan. Gene hated the Wrath of Khan.
Yeah. I know. I go, my con going days go back to the late 70s, early 80s. So I had the good fortune of meeting the man on more than one occasion. And smell my fingers, kid. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, my girlfriend wanted to. My girlfriend's got a thing to add. Bring that back up. Hold on. She had a broke. She said, "What would piss me off is to save Pike. They brought him forward in time or to the Academy show." I'm like, yeah, that would be really weird.
Yeah, I don't know how any of this shit lines up. None of that's really mattered to me because, going back to just all the different comic books and the novels and none of, like, what's canon. If nothing is canon, then everything is canon. That's just how I feel about it. I think I got a good lesson in that kind of stuff growing up when I did it, and you guys too, that, not everything had to be connected. You can make those connections in your mind and head canon or not, but and you just fit it in wherever you go along. Now their brains are turning into pop rocks over all this Karate Kid, Cobra Kai stuff, and it's like, it's really simple, It's a franchise. Everything is clearly connected. You don't need somebody to draw you a diagram to show you how the Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith movie connects to all of the greater stuff, but it'll make sense if you just watch the shit and let it go.
We got people doing the Charlie Day meme of.
It's like I said, when did they explicitly say that it was that this happens in a different universe? Marvel has rotted the fucking brains of an already fickle fandom, an already real touch and go kind of extremely fickle fandoms plural, and just the end credit sequences and the phases, and it's really just it's Marvel cinematic brain rot, and it needs to go away.
Yeah.
End rant.
Last thing about the Academy thing is, like I was saying, I'm all for the show. It's more the time frame that doesn't necessarily interest me, but I'm still going to watch it.
See, I'm
So the
I'm
Academy
the
show
same.
is in the time frame that Discovery ended in.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I'm that actually is something I'm happy about because I like the fact that they took us further in the future than we've ever seen before, and it's sort of like I said with Rise of Skywalker. By the way, you mentioned the memes, so there you go. There's Mariner doing the Charlie Day meme. I like the fact that we're like so far in that future, and I don't know. Like I think that's exciting, and I don't think they've really explored it yet. Like we don't know. We haven't met the Klingons yet in that time period, and we haven't met a lot of the aliens we know. It's 1,000 years. Like a lot can change in 1,000 years. Like the Vulcan and Romulus merged. There was it Navar. Navar is the planet now. So
Yeah.
what are we gonna
Remember
find?
when remember Gene's vision? Gene's vision was that the Ferengi were going to be the Klingons of the next generation.
Yeah.
And by the way, if anybody gives you that Gene's vision crap, just tell them to watch Chaos on the Bridge.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. I always
Yeah.
go with the what do you call it? Zephram Cochrane in First Contact when he's like,
Yeah.
you had a vision. You know what my vision was? Dollar signs, money. But that was
Dude,
Gene. He was trying to sell
Do
a show.
you think that was Berman and Braga and those guys like sticking it in Gene's side?
I don't know, but I kind of think it was because if you read about
I
Gene.
mean, he'd been dead. He had been dead a little while at that point. So
Yeah.
Like 5 years. Yep.
yeah.
What do you call it? Gene in season 3. We talk about on Star Trek. We talk about IDIC, infinite diversity, infinite combinations. That was a marketing pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like they only introduced that into Star Trek because he wanted to sell the medallions. He was selling Star Trek replicas through some company, and he's like telling them, "You got to put this, you got to feature this in an episode because we're going to sell it."
Yeah. Well, think about
Smart
it.
move.
Think about it. TNG and Deep Space Nine were both syndicated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's because he was, TNG. Obviously, it was Gene, and not because he was dead by the time Deep Space Nine came around. But that was him selling it to the highest bidder of networks. You can't tell me if streaming wasn't around back then that he wouldn't have been all about making as much money as he could, from his.
No, I think Paramount had an interest beyond just a rights issue with Star Trek at that point. I don't. He couldn't have just taken it anywhere. They would have had to given it back to him, or
Star Trek was always a niche program. Like if you look at how it did on NBC, it didn't do well. But then it went to syndication, did well in syndication. I think if you had put it on network television in the 80s, it would have bombed. Syndication was the right home for it. Just like I think streaming's the right home for it now. Like people were like, well, why don't you put this on CBS? Well, because the audience for CBS is mainly senior citizens who like watching cop procedurals.
geezer teasers.
Yeah. So CBS stands to make more money from something like Blue Bloods, where it's like they don't have to put all that money into special effects and all those things. Why are you going to spend that kind of money on a Star Trek show if you're going to get better ratings from a cheaper show?
Yeah, my mom's a huge Grey's Anatomy fan, and they had some kind of weird paranormal kind of episode, and she's like, "Oh, I don't want to. Why are they doing this crap on here?" And she's that target audience, for that kind of stuff, and being in her 60s, and I'm like, I don't know. You should see some of the stuff I watch. I ain't watching that crap. Just give me my Blue Bloods and my Grey's Anatomy. And I got my girlfriend cracking up over here.
My dad's 85. I'll show him some crazy. When he comes and visits, I'll show him some crazy shit sometime.
What? I woke up.
He just wants to watch Lone Ranger and Roy Rogers and some wrestling.
Yeah, my dad's also 85, and if all he could watch all day was the Virginian, he would.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh, I called my mom. I called my mom on the phone and got her voicemail, and it plays out loud. Like it's an answering machine, so she's sitting on the couch and she can hear the message. So I call her and she doesn't answer, and the machine comes on, and I leave her a goofy message. I disguise my voice and I go, hello, this is, I gave some goofy name. I said,
Ron Hextall?
No. I said, I want to talk to you, but you're not answering the phone. You're probably sitting on the couch in your pajamas watching Leave It to Beaver. So about 10 minutes pass, and I get this call from my mom, and she says, did you just call me? And I said, what? And she goes, did you just call me? I just got a real weird call. And I said, yeah. I just called you. I left a goofy message. And she says, that was you? Oh, thank God. I was sitting in my pajamas watching Leave It to Beaver. And this guy called, and I thought he could see me. I thought I was
yeah, I miss my mom, but I still got my dad, so that's all right.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I lost my dad, but still got my mom. So
That's how it goes.
I got both, and they're both crazy.
We should wrap this up. I've been going for 2 hours. Thanks, guys, for joining me.
Yeah. I forget, there was something you guys were talking about earlier, and I had 2 cents on it. I can't remember what it was, so it doesn't matter now.
Actually, DeGrasse, if you don't mind sticking around, there's something I'd like to ask you off air once we.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
So,
Yeah.
all right, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We've got 6 people watching. I think that's because of the channel I'm on. If I was on Crazy Joe Adventures, we'd have a lot more. But I'm trying to get more people to come over here. So I stream over there. I say go over there, and nobody does. But
all right. Well, I'll head out and let you guys have your little combo.
Have a good night, Vince.
Thanks for coming.
Take it easy.
And everyone else, thanks for joining us. We'll come back and do this again soon. And I'm on a different StreamYard, so I'm trying to find where all my stuff is. There we go. Till next time, keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas
with the plastic feet.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Tell everyone you meet.
Keep wearing those pajamas
With the back door flap.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Don't open it, a trap.
Oh no,
It's a trap. Some people call them bitches. Some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander adamas. But no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas.
keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas.
I know we're having fun.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
And now the song is done.
I get angry just thinking about it makes me mad. Little kids doing drugs, it turns my stomach. That stuff hurts. It stops you from living up to your potential. It holds you back. It hurts the user. It hurts his family. And it hurts his friends. I just want to shake some sense into you kids that are using drugs and thinking about using. So remember, don't or else. Okay?